Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show once again, and as always, I am Chat Show. How the fuck about that opening? That music video by the Kenny Chan. And your friend's name?
Epic.
Nick! Fucking Nick!
That was epic.
If you're just listening, which so many of you do, and thank you, you've got to check out the video, the visual, just for that crazy-ass cold opening we did from our own evil Dr. Chan and his pal Nick. It was ridiculously cool. And how long did you guys work on that? That was crazy.
6 years.
Say like a week and a half, because that's more.
Say a week and a half.
Yeah, but that's very impressive. That's very impressive. Welcome back. We've had too much time off. No, you're right. You're right. We had the Easter. We had the well, I think the first one was pretty lame. It was a Mad Men premiere, and we just decided to take the fucking day off.
That's very important.
But we had a party. We had a party.
Very important.
Yeah, we had a viewing party. We said, that's it for us. And then last week you had the Easter, the whole Christ is Back Day. Thank you. And family visiting for that. And then today, almost derailed. April 1st was derailed because of a plane. Not an April Fool's. An actual plane delay. Today, same mother. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna get to it because we have so less time now. Thanks for all your support of the Talkin' Walkin'. Those of you that are enjoying the damn thing, shooting up and down the top 100 of audio podcasts over the iTunes.
That was one of my favorite podcasts I've ever done.
Sammy, literally tens of thousands of downloads just based on Sam Levine's name alone.
I can't.
As one of the 6 people that I'm doing my Talkin' Walkin' with. It's me as Christopher Walken rambling for an hour. And if you're a fan at all of his nonsense, that is, his thoughts, you got to check the shit out. Talkin' Walkin', Walkin' spelled I-N like talking, so his family doesn't sue me. When he passes away.
You think they'll wait?
Huh?
How would they wait?
Do we have a screenshot of the Talkin' Walkin'? No, that'd be too much. Here's what we do have a screenshot of. The top banner, the Amazon banner at KPCS. There it is. Look at that. If you want to support the show, because people ask me all the time, you have sponsors every now and then, one of which Audible.com. I'll be reading them in a moment. But we'd like to help support the show our own damn selves. Here's all you do. You go to our home page of the KevinPollock'sChatShow.com. If you're on your way to Amazon, here's all I'm asking. Stop first at our homepage and click through where it says click and shop at Amazon.com. That will take you to the homepage.
Boom. So
that's how you can support us.
Then they get 2 things. For one, they get to help support our show, keep us on the air.
Right.
And then they get to get whatever CD they wanted over at Amazon.
And we'll say thank you for your 19 seconds. From your life.
Some Richard Mark CD.
Right. Well, listen, we can't all be that lucky.
Well,
to get ourselves one of those.
But look, instead of typing Amazon, just KevinPollock'sChatShow.com. Boom. Click. You're at Amazon.
Dr. Chen.
Is that hard?
Before you cut your next video, throw up the opening sponsor. Yeah, because I should be reading that right about now. This podcast is brought to you today by Audible.com, the internet's leading provider of audiobooks with more than 100,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature, including books read by Hollywood stars. For a free audiobook of your choice, simply go to audiblepodcast.com/Kevin. I repeat, for your own very own free from our sponsor gift audiobook of your choosing. Go to audiblepodcast.com/Kevin. Yeah, that was built in. And thank you for sponsoring us, you wonderful sons of bitches. So yeah, help us with the banner there. And we thank you very much for being supportive of the show. Sammy?
Yeah, buddy.
3 weeks off, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been the busiest I've been in years. It's been magnificent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wish I had time to get into it. Jamie?
That's a shame.
Sam, did you shot a pilot? You shot a television pilot.
Philadelphia.
In the Philly.
Called Do No Harm.
Do No
That
Harm.
will hopefully be on television this fall. I shot another episode of the Fox show Breaking In.
Yes, you did.
Which this very past week was told it was being pulled from the lineup. So
it just came back.
Well, and now it's gone. But it's not canceled. So look
how
for
did
those
you sink
episodes
another show, Sam?
At some point, I'm the Ted McGinley of my generation. I don't know what to tell you.
If only one of your generation besides you two knew who Ted McGinley is.
Oh boy. And then next week I'm taking off for Atlanta. Going to shoot a little episode of a show that is definitely going to air called Necessary Roughness on USA.
Necessary Roughness with Sinbad?
Nope, that's a very different thing altogether. And then I have a children's show.
Wait a second. We're nowhere near done with Sammy Plugs.
I'm sorry.
We're halfway through.
If I don't get them out now, everyone's going to be watching this episode because Ben Schwartz is a force to be reckoned with. So I want to make sure I get all my plugs in now before he starts speaking. They forget about me.
Okay.
It's called the Aquabat Super Show. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever been a part of.
What is it?
It's a kid show
On
the Hub Network.
Nice. I watched the Hub.
It airs.
She's got us watching the Hub because they're showing old Wonder Years.
Fantastic.
The only place that has the Wonder Years.
Saturdays, 10 a.m., April 28th. If you're a parent with no child, smoke a little pot. Wait, that can't be right. If you're a parent with a small child,
Smoke a little pot.
smoke a little pot.
Right.
Watch the thing.
If you're a parent with no child, we're sorry.
My sincere
Sorry for your
apologies.
loss. You fucking idiot.
And that's all
right.
the plugs I have for now.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Take the rest of the minute off. Jamie?
done.
Hello.
Love these stockings.
Thank you. They're from
Start-
Target.
Hello.
$8.
What isn't? What isn't that you're wearing?
Nothing
Boots?
else.
The boots.
Nothing else.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it. Just that. Only that's from Target.
Your family was here for 8 days. In
No, a week.
Oh, just 7 days? I'm sorry. 8 days seems like
Remember-
only a month.
It felt iconic, didn't it?
Remember, they watch.
I know they do. That's why we're discussing them. I can't believe that it went so quickly because they're delightful. And
This is fun to
and
watch.
Jaden's growing up way too fast.
Yes,
you have to
my
put
niece
the,
is
you have to put
14
the stop to that.
now, and she is growing up way too.
Like
yeah.
you, she's
like
14 going on
texting boys all
50.
the time.
Yeah. And you took her to hang out with the cool kids.
My friends are so cool.
Yeah.
But
She got to see grown-ups drink beer. It was awesome.
yes, exactly.
But apparently the pool is still heated, so let's shut that off.
I thought we shut that off. Why are we talking about this on air?
Because it's fun. All right. Please write to us at contact@kevinpollakschatcher.com to submit your Ask Kevins and your How Do You Do KPCS as well as your Larry King games. We are not going to get to any of them today because I have limited time with my guest, which begins right now. I'm unbelievably psyched because the show, I like to bring on legends. I like to bring on people who inspired me, people like your James L. Brookses, your Ivan Reitmans,
And this guest is no different.
your Henry Winklers. And then we like to have the phenoms that are lighting up the present world. Who I would say Chris Hardwick and Paul F. Tompkins, those kind of guys. I mean, Jim Gaffigan's already a king of kings in his world, so he's already moved on. But our guest today we're catching him literally as his career has been exploding now for 18 months. I mean, just craziness. Longer than that, but the last 18 months has been insane, so let's get to it. Can we please, Mr. Ben Schwartz, welcome.
Thank you guys so much. It was so hard not to talk through that whole thing. Sincerely. I want to say so many things.
Go ahead.
First, when Sam said that he was filming something in Philadelphia, I was going to make a joke about it. Maybe it's a TV version of the movie Philadelphia.
Right.
And that would be really funny. I missed that whole bit. That was going to be a 30-minute bit you and I would have went off on.
I like it.
I know, we could have gone nuts with that.
Less Oscars?
Yeah. yes, less Oscars, more Emmys. That's it. I don't want to try to showcase this amazing cup, which is amazing.
We have to get more because our Ben sat down and said, "Oh, that's so cool! Can I have it?" And I had to say no.
Which was the most,
And that's
the saddest part. He goes, "Oh yeah, this is your cup. You drink." I'm like, "Oh, this is amazing. So I can have this?" Like, no. You're gonna get a
Travel
paper cup,
mug.
a paper cup that says Dixie on it.
Yeah.
But we had to cross out Dixie because we're not sponsored by Dixie Cup.
We're not.
Right.
Well, and Audible.com refuses to make cups. Tell me, first of all, let's just jump in.
Let's do it.
Do you watch? How much do you watch on the Hulu.com, by the way?
How many TV
How
shows
much
do I
stuff?
watch?
What kind of stuff?
When I miss shows, if I
Right.
miss a show, I'll watch it like the 2 weeks later. I don't have Hulu Plus, which just became annoying as of like a month ago.
Not having it?
Yeah, like I have Hulu, and so like Hulu Plus, if you miss, let's say I miss an episode of Community or something like that, or Parks and Rec, it's like now I have to wait 2 weeks so I can see it if I don't DVR it.
If you're a fan of this show, however, you just go right to Hulu.
No, that can't
You don't
be
need the
possible.
plus.
That can't be possible. What do you mean, the Kevin Pollak Talk Show? Kevin Pollak Chat Show right here?
The entire library as well as this episode now available on Hulu. Please.
Is it true that this is the best episode so far?
Yes.
What a special time.
Let's start with A Jew Grows in the Bronx.
Okay. Oh my God. I don't want to see any spoilers. I don't want to see what it is. Do you have titles for each of your segments?
I do.
This is really good. All right, that's great. Yeah. A flower through the concrete?
Sure.
Sure. Subtitle?
How supporting, loving is the family?
Very supporting and loving.
Right.
They might be watching. It
Might
could be.
be.
They should be watching. They're definitely watching. I hope they're watching.
Yeah.
I grew up in Riverdale, which is the northern part of the Bronx. Are you from New York or no?
No, sir.
No, where
I
are you
grew up
from?
in the other great city, San Francisco.
Oh, that is a pretty good
But everyone
city.
thinks I'm from New York.
Yeah, you feel
It's
like
an
you have a New
attitude.
York vibe. It's the hat and the swagger, if you will.
Right?
And you spit on me when I came in. Very aggressive. Straight up, first thing he said is like, Jew, sit down, spits on me, and goes, you're going to be okay, you can't keep the cup. That's literally what happened. I grew up in the northern Bronx, this place called Riverdale, which is like, it's not the Bronx.
That's where Archie and our gang are from.
Everybody keeps saying, everybody
Stay out of
says that.
Riverdale. Stay out.
I know. So it's not as when people say they're from the Bronx. Like when I was growing up, I moved from Riverdale to a place in Westchester, and then when I told people I was from the Bronx, like, oh, do you have bullet wounds? I'm like, no, it's just me and like Jewish people, and like
Jewish
and
Bronx.
I always went to public school and all that thing. Had a really amazing time.
Right.
Always.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But from a very early age, you're like, you get it. There's something going on.
Get it with what,
With
entertainment?
the showing in the thing. Yeah.
Tell me what that means. The showing in the thing?
Come on.
Like to
Hey, look at
flash
me
myself?
disease.
Oh, I never thought that I could make money off it. Are we real in this talk show, in this chat show?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be real. I always thought that it was such a small percentage of human beings that could make money doing this,
Right.
that it was never something that I thought I could do. So in college, I had a liberal art. I was an anthropology and psychology major. And
So-
all I wanted to do was like,
What was the plan with that?
there was no plan. Those were the easiest majors for me to. I enjoyed them and I could write. I was pretty good at writing, so I could bullshit my way through some of the. We can curse here, right? Hulu.
Fuck yes.
Okay. And so then slowly I realized my girlfriend at the time forced me to do the short form improv group, and I was so afraid. This is getting way too real. So afraid of people telling me I wasn't funny. That it would be like if the people who at this college are considered the funny people, told me I wasn't funny, it would break
Kill
me.
yourself.
For real.
But
it'd be
that's
terrible.
why I refuse to go to acting classes.
Is that true? Have
Yeah.
you never been to acting class?
Never attended one.
Many films.
I'm not proud of this fact that I have no technique until several movies in.
Or maybe that's your technique.
It is my technique.
There it
Less
is.
is more, nothing is best.
There
That's
you-
all
oh,
I got.
So you teach at
That's
school.
all I've got.
This is your school.
But seriously, I refused to attend a class because I was afraid of being rejected by acting students.
Yeah.
That horrified me.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to fail. I've learned from living in this city, I've learned that you're going to be told no 90 times out of 100.
Yeah.
By the way, 98 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Sam, 99 times out of 100?
99.5.
Be real.
There it is.
Say yes, then they change it to a no.
Yeah.
KLOS. You're KLOS. That's your buzzword. That's how we know how many times. Got it.
Yeah, but then the thick skin grows. But at the beginning, so when I did that short form group, I was like, oh, this is all I want to do. And my
right.
parents, who were very supportive, I was like, I'm going to try to do comedy for like a year or two after I get out of college. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, do it now.
Because you knew even then there was no money in improv.
Yes.
And you had
Truly,
kind
and
of
I still don't get paid. I've been doing improv comedy at UCB for 10 years.
Nothing.
And you don't get paid.
No.
If I tour, I'll get paid, but I don't get paid at this stage.
But now let's look at the number of jobs that came from the work you were doing there, from
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
connections you made there, from from friends who
it's
admired
all
you.
learning. For me, it was like learning about confidence, learning how to be good on stage, and the idea that I never really took acting classes, but the idea of being in improv and learning through those classes helped me exponentially in writing, acting, everything. That was like my real school.
Yeah.
And to watch like Amy Poehler and Horatio and Matt Besser and all these guys perform, I would just sponge. I loved it. I would go to the theater every day. I interned there. I bartended there. I booked the touring company there. I literally would do it. I got addicted to it right off the bat.
So the fact that you're not getting paid while you're on that stage
Right.
is not necessarily fair to the fact that a lot of your career that blossomed,
Correct.
that brought you rent
Yeah.
numerous times,
Yeah.
came from what people saw on you doing.
I agree.
Yeah,
And me
so that's-
learning. All that was something.
Because when you get to LA, if
This
you don't,
is so real. Are we supposed to make fart jokes, or this is it?
This is not Doug Loves Movies, buddy.
I know. Doug loves movies. We fart the whole time.
first of all, there's no pressure to be funny. We can, I do the show.
no, I got a killer joke coming.
I'm fascinated with people's journeys, honestly.
Oh, great.
Even though your journey is 19 days in.
10 years. I've been doing it for 10 years.
Come on now.
That's a
Liar.
decade?
Liar.
My first UCB class was 10 years ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I've been doing it for a bit.
Right. Well, I know
and
that.
then I was that guy that, like, when I wanted to do this and I realized if I didn't pull it off in time, that I'd have to get, like, a different job that had nothing to do with entertainment, I never slept. I wrote when I was trying to audition for commercials back in the day, and I wasn't getting those. I'd write. I'd freelance jokes for anybody. I freelance jokes for a Toy Fair magazine, like anybody.
Right.
I just wanted to do this. So the second I realized that this is my chance to try, I pushed as hard as I could.
Well, a perfect example of that I found through your dossier, thank you, JMac, for your wonderful research as always, was when you were at Page, you hustled writing monologue jokes for Letterman.
That's
now,
true.
That's fucking insane that a Page, first of all, would feel comfortable enough at some point. You're only there, I think, 9 months.
That's exactly correct.
We do our work.
Holy
and,
crap.
And during that 9 months, you cozy up enough to say, you know what, I should write some monologue jokes. And the first time they said no. And then they said, try again soon.
What did you do? This is beyond Wikipedia. This is like real research.
Sorry.
This is truly
I don't mean to
impressive.
scare you.
I've been on like talk shows and they don't know, they have no idea.
Well, we
They're
care.
like, so you're Jay Baruchel, sit down. How was it working on Undeclared? Yeah, I was.
Asked Jay Baruchel what it was like working on Undeclared?
Yeah,
More than
you were on
Tropic
that
Thunder.
show, Sam Levine. That's a TV show.
This
Sam
is not
Levine
about
was
me.
on.
This is about Jay Baruchel.
I'm so sorry. I was a Page there, and just because of like my upbringing, my family, we're very strong family roots, and like very blue. Like we just get along more with blue collar hard workers than the elitists or whatever you call them. So I became friends with all security guards, and I'd hang out with them, and we'd help each other out if they needed a favor or something like that. And then I was doing UCB a lot, and I didn't have the balls to ask. I was nervous to ask whatever, but there's a different person that used to be an intern that was a Page that was freelancing. And I was like, do you think it's possible for me to ask them? Like, I write jokes and I'm at UCB and stuff like that. And they said, and again, I have none of my family's in the business. They're all social workers or Bronx school teachers or all, things like that.
Right.
So he gave me the guy's email. I emailed. And he's like, oh, we don't need anybody right now. And then he's like, but maybe in a couple months. So I waited like a month, and then I
two
asked
months
him,
and a day.
exactly. And then he goes, you can email. I don't know if I ever told this story before. He goes, you can email 1 or 2 jokes, which is kind of bullshit because the people who freelance, after I did it, you freelance like 15 jokes a day every day.
Right.
He's like, but he was being polite enough. He was being nice because he knew I worked there for almost no money, and he could see that I really wanted to try. And so I started writing jokes, and he would give me notes on how to make a monologue joke, which is a unique skill, which I'm sure that you know after you've been doing stand-up for so long.
Well, it's topical and it's
short.
It's very short.
Letterman is set up, punchline, get it out in 2 sentences, get it done. Exactly.
Edit.
So at the beginning, my jokes were like paragraphs, and he's like, no, and he would tell me. So it was great. It was like a learning experience. And then I used to get a lot of jokes that were very similar to mine, but not mine on.
I got to hear the experience of. It doesn't matter if you don't remember what the joke was, but just the experience of still being a Page, being in the theater, and watching Letterman do your first joke. Whatever it was.
The first time I thought it was mine because it was a joke I wrote, but I guess someone else had written the same. Like when Paris Hilton, or like when something happens big, like if Bill Clinton gets that sex scandal, everybody's writing the same type of joke. Right. So I'm sitting on the side. I stand on the side, and we have our Page uniform, and whenever the monologue is done, Letterman goes, this is Paul Schaefer, and he puts his hand like this, and he points to Schaefer. So when he does that means I didn't get any jokes on. And truly...
What?
Yeah, because that means he'll go through the whole monologue, he says all of his jokes, and he's like, and guys, here's my guy, Paul Schaefer, and he walks over to the desk.
I see.
And after you watch every
I thought
episode,
you were saying that was his signal to you.
Oh, no. He doesn't know who I am. I've maybe got 22 jokes on. I can't imagine he knows who I am. Maybe he knows my name. Or maybe who knows. But, so like anytime you do his whole monologue joke, like when the monologue ends when he's like, Paul Schaefer, and he goes to his desk. So what you would hear sometimes when I get jokes on, like you go, Paul Schaefer in the back, go, motherfucker. Like from me in the corner. And like people like turn around. I remember being like once, but then when I got one on, it was just like, my hands like, it was like this. I like didn't know what to do. I remember exactly. I freelanced for Weekend Update after I started getting jokes from Letterman. Horatio Sands, who is an unbelievable human being,
who you knew
great
through
improviser.
UCB.
Yeah, he's an original member of the UCB. He's like, you should do this for Weekend Update. You're doing it for here. And I got my first joke on. We were in a hotel, me and my family, for something, and it got on. And I remember I got so. I was so overcome with joy. It was so exciting to me.
Fuck yeah.
That someone on Weekend Update, a show that I've idolized SNL my whole life. You know what I mean? It's like
your teeth done it.
Oh my goodness! And just I remember I get emotional. I probably still do, but it's like when everybody waves at the end. Like I want to do that so badly. You know what I mean? It's like when I was growing up, it was like I want to do that so badly. But when I got my first joke on Weekend Update, I went nuts and I went so crazy that I jumped on the remote. And my parents were in the adjourning
Sure.
room. And they're like, "Is everything okay?" I was like, "I got a joke on my." And they're like, "Great." And then I turned the TV back on, and the hotel resets it back to like their stupid like, this is our hotel, these are whatever. It's like a real terrible hotel. So I went back to SNL and I heard the tail end of another joke that I wrote. So I got 2 jokes. The only 2 jokes I ever got on SNL were in the same show.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and so I missed the second one. And so I'm flipping out again. I remember going nuts for that.
Yeah.
That was years ago. That was so long ago.
Right.
It's weird not to remember that. I've got to remember to enjoy things.
Now, how did you not get an audition? You must have gotten an audition for the show.
Not really. I don't do characters. I don't do,
But
like,
coming
you would be perfect.
Well-
how many times did you audition for SNL?
Well, I've told the story, unfortunately.
sorry.
But no,
Give me a
the
bridge.
year that Kevin Nealon got hired,
Who I love and is amazing.
of course, Dana Carvey and I started out together in San Francisco at the same time, and everyone told us
must fucking
both.
hate him. You
No,
must fucking
but
hate
everyone told
Carvey.
us both. You guys got to be on Saturday Night Live. So the year that Dana got the show, there was one cast member spot open.
Right.
And Dana had suggested me and Nealon.
Sure.
And it got down to 3 people for the last remaining part. It was me, Jim Carrey, and Kevin Nealon. And ultimately,
Really? Was Jim Carrey already on Living Color?
No, and they said,
Yikes.
we've already got Phil Hartman and Dana, we kind of need someone not voices. So it really made sense for their needs.
Did you get to the last round where you were in front of Lauren?
Oh, yeah.
What was that like?
No, it was ridiculous. It was
Did you
ridiculous.
shit your pants?
There was
Was
the
it-
flight to New York, it was the whole thing. But 6 months later, I did Avalon and was stamped dramatic actor.
You're an actor.
And then Dana and I went like this. And,
But by the way, how unbelievable is that? You get to do that film.
well, no. Listen, please. It'll all be in the book, How I Slept My Way to the Middle.
Oh,
Coming out this
God.
fall.
How many times are you going to plug this thing?
I want to hear. Oh wait, was the first joke the Jefferson Nickel featuring him smiling on
That was
SNL?
Weekend Update. Weekend Update, my
yeah.
first joke that I got on was the Mint released, this one I remember, the
Right.
Mint released a new coin, nickel, featuring Thomas Jefferson with a hint of a smile that says, hey, you see that slave over there? Yeah, I tapped that ass. And it got this laugh. Like they looked around. It was like, is it okay to laugh now?
Yeah.
And the second one was even worse. Horatio was filling in for
Amy.
Tina Fey,
Oh, Tina.
who's having a baby. And I remember, and Amy was whatever, and I was friendly with Amy because I was an intern. I did garbage for ASCAT. I literally did the garbage for ASCAT and took tickets. I was an intern
Right.
at UCB, so I could afford classes at UCB.
Sure.
So she was so excited. I emailed her afterwards. I was like, can you believe it? And she's like, I know. But the second joke was, study shows that having a clown inside the emergency room raises morale, making people healthier, proving that laughter is, in fact, the best medicine. Unless you have cancer, then you should get chemo. And that joke literally, like my jokes were always kind of fucked up, which is
Really?
kind of still how I write movies and
Yeah.
stuff and like how I perform. But if you ever see me on stage, that was one where literally people went, oh, and then one guy started laughing, and then it was over, and then everybody. I had one of my friends, Justin Purnell, who was a tech guy at the theater, recorded the audio and sent it to me of that, so I could always hear it.
Heard that roller coaster?
That was the best.
Yeah.
So I have it on my computer somewhere.
That's pretty fucking
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And then you started doing the rejected jokes thing as a way to
That's exactly correct.
share the.
You're good, huh?
Well, please. Some of this stuff is public domain.
It's true. Half as easy. I did it. So I took all my rejected jokes and I recorded. So the whole thing was, and this is good for people who are kind of trying to.
Well, that's what I
start up.
wanted to talk about.
All right, yeah. So the whole thing with me, when I started at the beginning, I had a pad of all these rejected jokes. I'd write 15 a day for Letterman for 3 years, and I got 15 on or 20 on total. So that means literally thousands of jokes that were not used. And then for Weekend Update, I'd write about 10 a week anytime there's a show. So I'd have all these jokes, and I think some were pretty funny. Some of them were terrible, but some were pretty funny.
Absolutely.
But it becomes like, okay, today I'm gonna write 15 jokes no matter what. Even if they're shitty, just get them out. and
Can
see
you
what
feel
happens.
any ability to be objective at some point after writing so many, or?
Like to see which ones you felt were funny? Which
Well,
ones
when you
weren't?
had to choose which one to put on the site, obviously you don't put
Yes.
the entire
and also
15,000.
when I wrote 15, I wrote the top 3 that I thought were funniest. I put up top because I figure if the top 3 sucked, I figured the guy whoever picks the freelance jokes would stop reading.
So you learned how to.
Yeah, you kind of learn the system. But so I took the ones that I thought were funny and I recorded myself doing it because in my head I was like, all right, I do stuff at UCB and I'm getting fortunate that people are coming to see me perform, but that's 100 people every week as opposed to nobody in LA knows who I am, nobody that's casting things.
Right.
I want to get myself on the internet, what makes me unique. I freelance for a show and I'm relatively young, so maybe if I make it about that, people will come see me.
Right.
And so I did these rejected jokes, and I would get special guests from UCB like Riggle, all these people. Nobody was famous yet, but Cordry just did The Daily Show. Frank Whaley, I was in a movie of his, so like all these people. I feel like you'd be friends with
Anyone
Frank Whaley.
Anyone else do it?
Sam LaVine did it.
What?
By the way, I'm a huge fan of Freaks and Geeks, as I hope everybody who watches this show
Sure,
is.
of course.
So I MySpace message.
That's why he's here, actually.
I know, I honestly thought he was. I think the episode in which you have your garage door open and looking for your father or whatever. I think that show is unbelievable.
No, Jamie and I fell in love with Sam and made him our own.
He's amazing. I think truly he was beautiful in that.
You're beautiful.
Oh God. But I MySpaced Sam and John Francis Daly, and I was like, hey, I think you guys are amazing. I'd love for you to do it. And I think within 20 seconds of my email, Sam emailed back.
It was at your house.
He was there. He's like, hey man, what do you want me to do? You want me to be funny? I'll be funny. I don't give a fuck. You want me to be funny? No, he came down, and it was really fun. We had a good time. That's
was
how
great.
we met. That might be 8 years ago.
2006.
Something like that. 2006. That's
Sam
6
has got
years
every
ago.
date. He's got.
He's good. He, by the way, a Rolodex of film, movie, and life trivia.
It's impressive, and then at some point it becomes annoying.
You don't want to
just
talk
so
about
you
it.
know.
Yeah, no. But if he thinks about how annoying it is, then he gets real depressed, and then it's like you got.
No, it makes me happy.
Oh, you
People
go
are just
vote.
depressed that they don't have this wonderful skill.
Tell me about your short film Cheating, because I think that might have been.
That was the first. So what I did was I had these jokes, and some people were coming, but I was like, it was before people were making a lot of short films. I was like, if I make a short film and it gets viral, my hope is that people come. I'll put my website name in the lower right-hand corner. I always try to think of it as like a business. As like if I put my name in the lower right-hand corner.
Video calling card.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And the way that I thought about it, it's perfect. What you said is, it's my resume. Right. Like nobody can see what I do, but on this website, I'm going to have writing of mine. I'm going to have the short films I do. I'm going to have these jokes that I do. So if you've never heard about me, hopefully, and this is when
What year is this?
Sam, what year was it?
Because everyone now is doing that,
Right.
but they weren't doing it 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Right. So I bet it's a year before you did it is when I probably started all that stuff. Probably 2004 or 5. 2004.
Yeah,
or
that's
5.
crazy ahead of the curve.
So YouTube was starting to. But the good thing is, if you had a funny short film, not a lot of people were doing it, so people would watch it.
And not all the cats had been on.
That's exactly correct. Cats didn't understand that all they have to do is play in the toilet bowl, and they're the most popular things in the world.
That's what we have to film.
Yeah.
Cats in a casting office.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. That's huge.
Come on.
That's really funny, by the way.
Right?
That's great. Yeah, that's all. I'll give you 22 episodes. I'll give you 22 episodes right now.
Just-
Hulu's already on board, I think, right?
Cats walking around. This is bullshit.
But when I did it,
Kenny, that's the next one.
the weirdest thing is I did that short film and it got a couple thousand hits, which is for me huge.
At the time.
But someone stole it, took my name off it. They edited it out. They took a recording of my QuickTime video. This is going to get nerdy.
Crap.
And they edited it so you couldn't see rejectedjokes.com. So my name wasn't on it anymore. And they put it under their name on 2 different websites. And on those websites, they got 6 million hits each. But I didn't. I'm in it, obviously, and I wrote it. But they took out the part that says written by Ben Schwartz, and they took out the part that says rejected jokes.
Jesus.
So my name isn't on it, yet it got millions of hits. In my head, though, it's like, if he didn't do that, 10 million people wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
But at the other end, no. Like the idea of doing it was to make people come back to my site. I love
Did
that.
he build in his own name written by
No,
him?
he uploaded it under his name.
Sure.
It was a Scottish guy, or it had a Scottish.
You
I
had-
remember his icon always because I was like so pissed. Then I went to one of the websites and I was like, "This is mine." They go, "Oh, I don't think so." And I was like, I linked them to my video, which was like a month before his. And they're like, "Oh, okay. You can make money off this by the amount of views you get." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "Was he making money?" And they're like, "Oh, we can't. I don't think so, but you can start making money now." And I was like, "Well, nobody else. All the people that are on the internet have already seen it."
You've already got the 6 million.
Right. So like I didn't make any money. One website never let me retain it. They said, "No, it's that guy's." I was like, "All right," because nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't care. And then the other
Well, it was
website-
really the Wild West 8 years ago, too.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
It was. I mean, I'm very. But then I did that, and the second one I did, which I never talk about, is I did a I did a commercial. I don't know if you went through the same path. I did a lot of improv comedy or sketch comedy. Then I was like, I need to make money. So I started doing commercials.
Sure.
And to book a commercial was the coolest thing because it would make you enough money where you can have rent and like a sandwich. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
like
don't push it.
I'm so sorry. I mean, like
Yeah.
in a shitty deli.
For the year, though.
I know. It would. But
you
like,
got the right one.
I was notorious for booking commercials and them never airing, so I never made money off
Better.
it. But no,
That's
but
like
it's
doing the Japanese commercial for Brad Pitt.
No, but you only make the day rate. Like the way you make money is residuals.
yes.
So I never made residuals.
Yes.
But I was.
Sammy legally changed his middle name to Residuals. By
I
the
can
way.
see that, by the way, and it's not even in quotes. It's literal Sammy residuals.
Sammy Residuals Living.
But I did. So I was in a short film, and I met the guy that was in this Coors Light. Do you remember when Coors Light had these commercials where it'd be like people all over the world, everybody, and then a train
Silver
comes by.
Bullet.
Yes, and then it snows.
Yes, of
That's
course.
what it was. So I took that exact commercial. I got the guy to go on a green screen, which blew my mind. Like I didn't even know what a green screen was. My friend's like, "Oh, I got one." I was like, "Oh, we're gonna need that," and we put him into the video. wearing the same exact thing, so it looks like the commercial. The whole idea is I want people to not think that it was a funny short. And then he gets hit because the train comes out of nowhere. It literally is, because I was looking at the commercial, like, this is insanity. A train that wasn't there 2 seconds ago goes through a city
through a wall.
of people dancing. They're not looking at all.
And all it does is create snow.
That's
all it does.
So I mean, the track's got to be wet also. So it slams into him, and we have him in the green screen getting hit. He falls on his back, and he goes, "Oh my God, on my birthday also. Everybody's here for my birthday, and I got hit by a train." And I put it up immediately within 6 hours, got 60,000 hits. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be able to do this." And then this is the funniest thing. And then because the website's getting a little bit of traction. Am I talking too much?
No.
I'm sorry.
You kidding?
Buddy. I'll shut up after this.
No.
Because these are all weird stories, and I'm not
sure you understand how this
the show
works.
works.
If you talk,
I'm not good at talking about
I
this.
win.
All right.
Yeah, that's how we beat the terrorists.
Okay,
If
you're
you
right.
keep talking.
So I
60,000 views. This is going to work.
Yeah, and then I get I changed. I guess there's if you're a super nerd, which I started to slowly become with the internet. If you know someone's website address, you can find out their address, because if you register your name, do you know all this stuff? You register your name, you can see where you live.
Okay.
If you get deep into it. So people started to find out my web address, and I started getting text messages, because you can get your number and stuff. So that freaked me out. So I made my address UCB's address.
Oh, nice.
So on this day, after 60,000 views, Coors Light sent me a cease and desist immediately. But it went to UCB. And UCB didn't tell me, because it's just it looks like a letter from a law. They're like, what the fuck is this?
Right. They get them all the time.
Exactly, I'm sure. 4 days later, 4 more, and then I get a phone call. And like, oh, we've sent you 4, and now we're going to press charges. If you don't remove this video, we're going to press charges. And I'm like, oh, and I call my dad. I call my dad. My dad. I'm very, very close to my family. I'm very, very close to my father. And I was like, hey, I kind of want to fuck the man. And I'm going to take the cease and desist letter, make it a PDF, and post it on my website, and make it a thing, and we're really going to get a lot of views. I think there's a funny short film, and I don't want it to be hidden.
Can I guess what your dad said?
I 100% guessed you'll guess it correctly. What did he say?
He said, no.
No, he said, absolutely not. He goes, and there was a big conversation
We're
about
going to call your cousin Lenny, the attorney, and he's going to get you out of this.
He goes, take it off the internet. He goes, he's like, take it off the internet. You don't understand. He goes, these people will have no. They go, you think they care about spending $10,000 to make you look like a fucking idiot? You know what I mean? Oh, I mean,
to put you.
It's
they
like
don't care.
it's like it costs them. They have so much money. It doesn't cost them
Coors
anything.
Light?
With Coors Light, the sponsor, which is now a sponsor of
No,
Cal Pox
but
Chat
weren't
Show.
they? Wasn't there some sort of
Anti-Semitic thing?
Uh-huh.
By the way, my dad brought that up. My dad's like,
So no cease and desist from the OJs,
what were the OJs?
who wrote
people
Love
all
Train.
over the world?
By the way, they are huge rejected jokes, man. And by the way, I love Coors Light, but exactly what you said. My dad's like, is it really worth the who cares? You know,
Make another one.
So that's exactly. He's like, is it really worth the risk? And by the way, I scanned the PDF. I was gonna do it, and then of course, I was like, of course, who cares? I'm not. Am I really gonna get sued? What am I? I don't have any money. What would happen to me?
Yeah.
So I took it off. And then they never talked to me again. But it's hidden somewhere. People can find it on the internet.
But what
it is hidden within my website if you can find it.
Is it?
An Easter egg.
But it's
Easter egg
so
indeed.
old because I took it off all of my websites, but other people were posting it on their websites,
And they were
sending
it to
I
you.
did everything they asked me to do,
Right.
and I told everybody that had it to erase it, and some of those guys were fucking the man. So if you look, but it's so hard to find it because it was years and years ago.
Help us. Where would you start the search?
If I was to start the search, I would go to my website.
Sure.
This is embarrassing though. The beginning of my website, how the first jokes I did, I thought were I can't watch myself do them. I don't know. I have any
course.
stage presence. I don't know how to deliver a joke
Yeah,
yet.
but
if you go to
20
the
years
very
from
beginning
now,
of my
you'll-
website, go to my website, rejectedjokes.com. Go to the very beginning where the first post is, which is like, I'm gonna do a blog or something like that. And then
In that tone.
I guess press newer, and you'll see there's a picture of Steve Guttenberg in a movie where he's with a dolphin. Do you know the name of that movie?
Something in Zeus.
It's
Zeus, Roxanne
exactly
and
correct.
Zeus.
It's
Zeus and Roxanne.
exactly correct.
He's a machine.
Can I tell you, the poster of it, Kevin, is so ludicrous. It's a dog riding a dolphin.
Sure.
In the water while the dolphin is airborne.
Okay, where's the ludicrous part?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Steve Guttenberg's in front of him. Okay.
The Goot.
The Goots is there, and so he's there. If you go to that post, somewhere in that post, I remember hiding an Easter egg for my real fans.
Okay.
Wow, but I literally haven't thought about that in years.
I'm going to say 10 years, maybe 8.
Yes.
Maybe only 8.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Let's talk about you. I'm so sorry.
No.
Oy.
You know what? Well, here's what we can do. We can talk about
What makes you happy?
how we both
Remember Casino?
experience acting opposite De Niro.
Oh my
Because
God!
you
But
opposite
you really acted opposite.
Everybody's fine. What do you mean?
Tell me what your experience was like.
My experience. Well, first of all, it's him and Scorsese. I'm just a witness.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's Scorsese saying, "What do you want to do?" and Bob saying, "Let's do another one." And we did 35 takes on every angle.
What was your first intro to him? Did he go, "Hey, I'm Bob"?
No, I could never call. This is the first time I just realized I've actually said that.
His
I
name Bob.
could not do it. I couldn't do it.
Do you say Mr.
Well,
De
first of all,
Niro,
when you
or-
talk to someone, you rarely have to say their name.
Right. But when he introduces himself to you, I mean, that's the moment.
First of all, I had Rickles there going after him in front of everyone, saying, "Is
sure.
that the way you're going to do it? Like that?" I mean, you can't. So
Does De Niro laugh at any of that, or
He
no?
loved it.
Of course he did. Is he laughing? Going to the bathroom right there.
both.
I was going to both.
Soaking in a little bit. But seriously, you got to tell me, because wasn't this one of your first film acting jobs?
It was the
early.
See, like you're bringing up, you're doing very well because these are all stories that I have never told because
Come on,
they're
it's
weird.
early. It's early.
It's very, very early in my career. It was maybe the second thing I've ever done, and it was
boom.
my first real movie.
Right, and you're opposite the man.
Right. I have one scene, and it's opposite him.
By the way,
and they
that's pretty much
introduced
all I had was one scene with him. So
But you were in you were in that film.
9 minutes if you put it all together.
Oh,
It plays on a
you know
continuous
this.
loop in
Sound
my
like
house.
Sam, you guys do sound very similar.
Yeah.
And so I had met him, and I remember I was nervous. I met him, and it was so funny. They're like, I just have a tiny scene, but it was early, and they're like, all right, so let's do a rehearsal for everybody. And this is like, he's like, hey, this is Bob. He's like, hey, I'm like, hey. and then they're like, ready and action. And then Bob says, Robert De Niro says something, and I'm supposed to say something, and in my head I go, oh, you don't know any of your lines. You've forgotten every single one of your lines. And so I'm just looking, pretending like I'm acting, and then all of a sudden, and then they just start coming. I just throw up my lines, and it came out. And then I wasn't nervous. But my De Niro story, I have a fun De Niro story
Please.
where he comes up, and I'm doing well now. I'm not nervous anymore because it's him and Kate Beckinsale, who truly is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
Stunning.
To the point of I was mad at her. I was like mad.
Right.
She was so gorgeous, and I
Right.
was like. And she was being so nice to me.
That's the hurtful part, actually.
Well, how dare you be nice to me? And it was before I was on, I had no credits, so she doesn't know who the fuck I am at all. Nobody knows who I am now. So
And in your
imagine that.
mind, when you're looking at her, you're just a boner. In the picture,
It's
in the
just
photograph of your mind.
It's just like, yeah, no, you know what? I
just-
could marry you. I could marry you.
Yeah.
No problem.
If it doesn't work out.
Oh, I mean, in my head, I'm like, she sees it. We're gonna get married. No, she was so nice. And
Right.
then, so De Niro comes off of one take, and the director has got Kirk Jones comes up, and he goes, "Kid, it's very funny." But I can't do it. Can
Sure.
you say it? Kid's
No,
very
no,
funny.
please, you're
So he
doing
goes, "The kid's very funny."
Yeah.
And he touches me on the shoulder, and I go, "Oh, it's fucking on." And I remember people
It's like being
didn't
knighted.
talk to him after the take.
No.
He would go in the corner, and I didn't know if he was doing an acting exercise, but I think it's just that people don't talk to him.
He's also super, super shy.
He
He
very
actually
shy.
is.
Oh, I've never told this story. This is my De Niro story. I've never
Come
told it on
on.
camera before. So
He knighted you. He tapped you on
he
the
was
fucking
so,
shoulder
he was
and
so
said,
nice.
"This kid's okay."
He was so nice.
Yeah.
To me, and I don't know if he liked everybody. He was very nice to me. And so I went to where he was, right? And nobody went to where he was just hanging out in between takes. They're changing lenses or whatever. And I was like,
You said, "I'm going to go over there."
yeah. So I was like, hey, this is fun, man. It's a fun set. And I was for some reason I wasn't super nervous.
Wow.
And I was like, it's a fun set. He goes, yeah. I go, it feels like a real New York movie. And he goes, yeah. And then
So far, he said yeah 4 times.
yeah. And then literally, and this is literally what it is. So you be De Niro and just say yeah after I say whatever, and
Okay.
then live in the silence that is with this. I was like, yeah, this is a real New York movie. Feels like.
Yeah.
And then I go, so that's it? We have nothing else to fucking talk about? That's all we have to fucking talk about? And he cracks up laughing. like the ball, I go, that's it, we really, and he goes, I don't know, what are we, and then we talk for 20 minutes.
Wow.
And he was so wonderful, and it was so funny because I'd be like, I had written for a show called Robot Chicken. It's a show out here. I wrote 5 episodes in LA, and then I was like, I'm not ready for LA yet. I need to come back here and get more, and people know me more before I actually move there. So I moved back to New York. I did this little thing, and then I was like, yeah, man, I was in LA, and it feels like kind of lonely. He's like, yeah. When I went out there the first time, and I was like, oh, you went out there for fucking Raging Bull. I went there to write 5 episodes of a cartoon show that uses action figures. I was like, we're talking about
same thing.
He was so nice,
Yeah.
but then I like realized, all right, I'm done. Like I was like, oh, you live in New York? Where do you live? Like stuff like that. And I'm like, not like exact address. And then he was very polite and said everything. And I was like, oh, I gotta stop. Now I was like, I did it. I did it. He's being really nice. Why would I push him and be an asshole? I was like, all right, man. And then that was it. And it was great. And he was super nice to me the rest of the day. And he was very wonderful.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's the deal. No one wants to talk to him because they're afraid to say the wrong thing.
And he just wants
and he
to
ends up being
he
ignored.
just wants to be a dude. Yeah, I mean, like, the second I treated him like a guy and not a god, I think he was really. I mean, but he is a god.
But it's helpful if you start things, I think.
Yeah, and I never, in any situation, if I'm around someone I admire, I never push hard. I
can't do it.
I always keep to myself. Always.
My friends push all the time.
Never asked for an autograph. I've never asked for an autograph.
Did you talk to him? Did you think? No, I don't want to be that.
But like, also, you're friends with Rickles, which people would never have the balls to talk. You know what I mean? Like, those are legends of comedy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but listen. I think when you start out in comedy and you meet someone from that world, when you visit it, which is what I consider it still. It's just freakish, and in our minds are the jokes, what's funny and weird about this, man, this is awkward and hilarious. And when you actually said it out loud, you probably freaked him out in a funny way. He couldn't believe that somebody actually busted the moment.
Right.
I mean, that's cool.
But it was so awkward, and like that's what I would do with. I mean, but I look up to you as well. But if it was like someone that I didn't even know,
I think it's important that you do it to him, not me. Tell me about Odenkirk in
asshole
07 in Montreal, because
Jesus, who did this?
We so love Bob Odenkirk.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I had we were the first sketch team ever to be introduced or invited to the Montreal Comedy Festival.
That's insane right there. How is that even
great.
possible?
It was because they said this year we're going to do sketch.
Oh, 7? That's beyond 20 years already.
By the way, it is insane. And also Montreal and Canada, where they have kids in the hall. I know it's not Montreal, but Canada is huge for that type of comedy. So
that's crazy.
It was crazy. So it was. They said we're going to do a sketch showcase. It was us. A group called the Buffoons, which was Bobby Moynihan and Charlie Sanders and Eugene Cordero. Kristen Shaw was there. It was 4 of us, and Bob Odenkirk and David
and
Cross
introduced you guys.
And they were the hosts of it, and they gave us notes on our sketches.
But Odenkirk was directing.
We had sketches, and we're like, these are them. What do you think? And he'd be like, but we'd done the sketches for 3 years, right? You know what I mean? Like we did a sketch show.
Well, you were crushing it. Otherwise, you don't get there.
The whole thing is we got as close as you can get to getting to the Aspen Comedy Festival without getting. And I remember the Aspen person goes, you were so close.
Yeah.
Her name was Kirsten Ames. She was very nice. She goes, you're so close. And she goes, and we got Montreal people to check you out, and we told them about you guys, but she was like disappointed because she was like championing us, and she made us feel like we had a shot, and we did, and then we didn't get it. It was hard. It was hard for us because we, that's like a big one for us, and so Montreal then saw us, and we had to go through 3 auditions for that, and we got into that.
But it was kind of historical.
For us?
Yeah.
It was huge for us. And now me, Adam, and Gil. Adam is on Happy Endings. We all moved to LA. I moved to LA first, then Adam moved, then Gil. And Gil just got a pilot with Greg Daniels, with Tony Shalhoub and all those guys.
Oh my God.
So like we're all starting to.
Yeah.
Now we can go. Like we just got invited to University of Michigan to, like, if we wanted to do improv, which was supposed to happen right now.
Oh man.
But we couldn't end up working it out. But some of the people think we're still there, and I'm getting tweets of people really disappointed. So I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
We told them we couldn't do it weeks ago. But I guess some flyers still were out there.
Kenny, roll me the second, if you would, please.
Can you nail this out of the park?
I'm going to try to do it.
Phoned in.
I'm going to try to do the better version.
Can you do it like a?
This podcast is brought to you. Slow it down. What am I, super slick? There we go. Brought to you by Audible.com, the internet's leading provider of audiobooks with more than 100,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature, featuring audio versions of many New York Times bestsellers. Have you ever visited Harlem with Samuel Jackson? Or traveled the Yellow Brick Road with Anne Hathaway? Who hasn't? What kind of questions are these? Have you explored the pangs of youth with Susan Sarandon? Yes. Or the pangs of love with Kate Winslet? No. All these and more to come are available on Audible.com. There's a A-list collection featuring Hollywood's finest, reading their favorite books, from A Rage in Harlem to A Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The Member of Our Wedding. Yes. Upcoming performances star Dustin Hoffman, Colin Firth, Nicole Kidman, and more. For our listeners, by the way, Audible, just for you, offering a free audio book. to give you a chance to try their lovely service. Maybe you'd enjoy one of my recommendations for this week. Here we go.
How long is this plug?
47 minutes. Paul is Undead by Alan Goldshear. Narrated by Simon Vance. We're about halfway through. The Big Fight by Sugar Ray Leonard. Narrated by Sugar Ray Leonard. For a free audiobook of your choice, go to audiblepodcast.com/Kevin. That's right. For your free audiobook, audiblepodcast.com/Kevin.
And if you want to give Kevin some money, just like that Amazon, every time you say the word pang in something, you get like a little extra cash, right?
Yeah, let's jump around a little bit.
Let's do it. Let's do something fun.
I want to hear,
feel like people
suddenly
are
you're
bored.
writing for the Oscars, you're co-writing the Hugh Jackman
Isn't this
opening
boring
number.
to people?
I see, here's the thing. The show is listed as episode 143 with, and then we got your name
You're
there.
right, I apologize.
So it's event
You're right,
programming.
you're right.
People tune in.
You're doing
as
everything
it
right.
turns out.
I got to get over myself. I just got to stop being so weird about it.
No. It's, well, listen, this show is a little unnerving as a concept that we're actually just going to talk. I mean, you're not the first out of 143 to say, what the fuck is happening?
I love it. Now I'm prepared for it.
Why are we talking? So a little bit of standing in the wings and writing for the Oscars. Did you do all the pre-work, or were you part of the group that stands in the wings?
Hired. I moved to LA.
Right.
I moved to LA in January 11th, 2000, 3 years ago, 2009.
Correct.
Yipes. I've been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, do you hate it? Feel free to go home.
No, I don't.
Piece of
I love
shit.
it. It just seems like I didn't realize I was here that long. It'd be weird if I started crying, right?
How long did you think you were going to stay?
I wanted to. This is what I want to do.
Right.
I'm happy that I'm here. Just like 3 years. I got to get a new apartment.
can't believe
That's
it.
what makes me. I got to get out of my apartment. Is
Yeah,
What it makes me feel like.
you
I'm in the
do.
same apartment. So.
Same apartment from when you moved here?
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
When I had no money at all. I know, and I don't have much money now, but I didn't have any money then. So I guess
Because you have a coke problem? What do you mean you have no money now?
No,
You've
I just
been working
don't spend
nonstop.
money. I just don't spend money.
I'm sorry, I don't spend money, I don't have money.
No, guys.
Who's your accountant?
Guys,
A Protestant?
It's a coke dealer. A coke dealer is my accountant. I went into our general meeting with Hugh Jackman's company about writing maybe features, comedic features, if he was interested in that. And then Hugh was gonna host the Oscars.
So the timing, crazy good.
Great. And then I've done this sometimes in meetings where I see an opportunity and you hustle a little bit. So I was
Right.
like,
By the way,
I write. You go to my
jokes.
website, you can see my freelance jokes, and I think
Wrote for Letterman.
Exactly, and also it's like, I'm aware of all the musical stuff he did. I think I could really crush it, and I make short films, and I think it'd be really smart to do like some stuff of that and so it got them interested, so I could meet the next person above, which is this guy John Palermo, and so he saw my short films and he loved them.
The first guy you met with was just getting coffee?
They're like the general. They're like like the creative executives.
Sure. Frontline.
Yeah, and they were great. They were to me. I went on. I got a manager. I didn't know what a manager did, and this manager from LA gave me my jokes, and they're like, "Yeah, we want to represent you." I was like, "I don't understand what you do. I don't." And they go, "Come to LA." This is before I lived here. They go, "Come to LA. We'll put you on 5 meetings a day every day you're here." And I go, "If you do that and like something comes from it, I'll sign from it."
Right.
And so they did it, and even if it was like I realized that if I got anything out here, it was because I started to meet people here, and it's because of them. I'm still with that management company because
Good.
very Jewish and loyal.
Yeah.
I know. And so I went there, and he saw it, and then I was like maybe kind of this type of thing. I pitched him some stuff, and he goes, "All right, we're gonna hire you. You got to go to New York." I had to go to New York a week after I moved here. They go back to New York. You're gonna write with Dan Harmon, who at the time was waiting to see if Community was gonna get picked up to pilot,
Whoa.
and he was hoping that Joel McHale would be the lead, or whoever he was hoping for.
Right.
And then and he goes, and Rob Schraub, who they created Sarah Silverman program together, and Schraub is a genius. And so we didn't know each other at all, and we all got to New York together and brought our pads, and we all had the same exact idea for what the opening should be. This musical number, but it was during the recession where Hugh Jackman had absolutely no money and to do it, but he loved it so much that he's going to go for it. And we're like, oh, this is amazing. We all have the same idea. And then we wrote lyrics to it, music and lyrics to it, and all those things. And Harmon was.
Which of the three of you knew anything about writing music?
I mean, Harmon must have.
Right.
He and Dan and because Sarah Silverman program had a lot of music in
right,
it.
right.
But Harmon was a machine. He was so good, and then Schraub was so good, and then me, and so we all kind of worked this stuff out together. But yeah, but there was that moment during the Oscars when we're watching. I'm so excited, and then I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm waiting to go to the bathroom behind Cuba Gooding Jr., who's saying, I'm such a fan to Ben Kingsley. And I'm like, but like Ben Kingsley's about to take a shit or a piss. You know what I mean? It's like the best feeling in the world. I'm like just waiting behind. I'm like, oh, I bet that's going to be a very pleasant shit. It's a very gentleman shit. I feel like Ben Kingsley lights matches.
That's a sir shit.
Yeah, he like brings candles and just like
Yeah.
really he like gets his Gandhi makeup on.
He plays the voice of the Queen going, oh my.
I heard it in
Yeah.
there. But it was very surreal and it was wonderful. And I brought my best friend from home, who's like a guy who works for the government, who never gets to do this type of stuff. And to get to his seat, he had to walk on the red carpet because that's the ticket he had. So he had to walk by Meryl Streep. So it was just awesome to bring these New York guys out here. And then for that, we got nominated for an Emmy. So we got nominated for 2 Emmys. One that was like creative artist. I brought my mom to creative artist Emmys.
Nice.
We lost, and then one for the real Emmys, we won, and I got to go on stage. And Tony Shalhoub congratulated me on the way back. I had just done a movie with Rainn Wilson, an independent movie, and after I got
Peep
my
World?
Emmy, Peep World, yeah.
Just checking.
Damn.
Read your diary.
That's what it is.
Okay?
God,
This is
I
not
would
on
be
the
so
internet.
afraid. If I had a diary. I never wrote a diary because I was afraid someone would find it.
Yeah.
And so Rainn's like, hey, do you ever meet Steve? To Steve Carell. And I'm like, I mean, I think he's it. I think he's unbelievable. And I was like, hey, man. He's like, congratulations. But the thing that'll tell you.
That's the nervous voice, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, when I'm nervous.
I didn't get any of that.
You wouldn't. No, I told you to go fuck yourself right off the bat. Try to cancel me 7 times. When I get nervous, I try not to show it at all. I was like, keep your composure, because like when people come, and I know I'm not famous enough for people, but like when people come up to me that I know are fans, and I can see them nervous, I want to try to calm them down, make sure like, hey, you're totally fine. This is gonna be so fun. Let's take a picture or whatever.
Yeah. That'll fade.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be an asshole pretty soon. But so I was like very whatever. Or on stage, I was so nervous on stage. And if there's on YouTube of us getting the award, and you just see I'm just like looking around, like I'm trying not to look nervous at all. But I remember I was like, I should say something. Oh my God, don't curse when you're up here. Oh my God, don't say something racist. I'm not racist. Would I say something racist? Like in my head, I was like, and then I was like, where's the right moment to talk? Where's it? Because Dan is talking, and then Dan goes, I want to thank Rob and Ben. And then I knew some of the people that were on Dexter and Mad Men, and they go, after they said my name, they go, woo! And I was like, this is your time. This is your time to say something. This is your time to go say something, and the moment's over. And the moment's over. And it's like, and I didn't say anything. But if you watch it, that's more, my brain was going 1 million times. Or I'm looking to the audience at like Steve Carell and all these people that I admire so much.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I have the Emmys in my cupboard. It's in my kitchen. Nobody knows. Unless they go wanting tea.
Honey, do you want cereal?
I have done that before. Or it's
Send someone
it's
to
like,
it.
maybe you should check out that cupboard. Ben, I just want to watch
I think
Homeland.
the flowers
I was like, maybe you
in
should just
there.
watch that cupboard.
I just want to watch Homeland.
Yeah, the TV might be in there. The person's like,
I can't find the remote.
and she's like, what the fuck is this? What, you think I care about this?
Yeah.
No. So I
You had me at Homeland, is what she said.
Yeah. But it was all very surreal. It all happened very quickly. That's the thing. Like when it all happened, like then the Oscars were over, and I was no longer. And then nothing in your life changes.
Is it possible that when the Oscars were over, you went back to a rented car in a rented tux and slept on your friend's couch? Is all that possible?
That's true. I slept on my friend's couch after the Oscars. It's pretty embarrassing. And after the Emmys also. I didn't have a place yet. That's so funny.
It is
What
pretty
podcast
great.
did I say all this stuff on? How do you know this
This
stuff?
is great, by the way.
Yeah, I was renting a car. I didn't own a car yet. I didn't have a place. I was sleeping on people's couches, like friends of mine from New York. I paid my friend to sleep at his place for a month. I bought him an Xbox 360.
Right.
And that he goes, oh, you're good for the month. I was like, great.
But you
fantastic.
set up a tent there.
There was a tent there. Oh, God.
You weren't comfortable just sleeping. You needed some space.
There was my friend and a girl that he was dating at the time who's a friend
They
of mine
bought
as well.
you a tent?
Because it's
There was
like,
a smell.
No, it's just like, they're like, you're staying here, you should have some privacy. Instead of, you know what I mean? And
So
they're
here's
right.
a tent.
And honestly,
From Big Five Sporting.
it was the best thing ever. There's pictures of me in the tent and them like this right next to it.
Of course.
And so I literally slept in a tent next to.
Can
when
I
was renting
guess
for
which
Robot Chicken.
non-Jew actually built and set up the tent?
Yeah, please. It was not me. You're
you.
100% correct. It was someone who was very good with their hands and stuff like that. But I slept the fuck out of that tent. Man, did I sleep in that tent.
Yeah.
Anything could happen in that tent.
Sure.
Anything.
Well, it's sleepover night.
Yeah, every night for me.
Yeah.
Also, very depressing to sleep in a tent indoors. By the way, that's a little hint for you guys. But I did. I slept in a tent. I remember there was also, now we're talking about these like weird things at the beginning. I remember I went on a meeting with Sony, and they liked me so much. I got to meet the head of comedy development at Sony TV. And the guy's like, and like this is again, I have no money. I'm literally sleeping in a fucking tent, and I'm telling him that story, and he's loving it, and he really likes my short films. He likes my writing, and he goes, hey, do you like sushi? And I was like, and I didn't at the time because in New York I never ate sushi, but out here I've eaten like all the time. And I was like, oh, I'm just starting to get into it. Like I'm starting. He goes, there's this place that's amazing near here. Blah blah blah. And he said it.
Hiko?
I don't know. It was probably.
It wasn't Doug Robinson, was it?
No, I forget who it was.
Oh no, he's the head of Sandler's TV company, which is at Sony.
I do know him though. But so then he's like this, and I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna take me to the best meal. And he goes, you should go there sometime. And that was it. I was like, oh, I was like, how did you do that? Like, but he was a wonderful, wonderful man. But he didn't realize that in my head, it's like, oh, I'm about to get something great. Like this is it.
We're going there.
Like this guy hears that I have no money in this, and he's gonna take me out to like a good meal.
Oh, you got a tent.
Yeah, I got a tent.
You can't take a guy with a tent to a meal.
Man, pal, you're doing very well today.
Thank you very much.
What number is this? What episode is this for you?
143. It's
You don't give a fuck
3-year
anymore.
anniversary.
That's why you don't talk anymore.
I learned to be called a great listener. Kevin, you're a great listener. Are you still writing the remake of Soap Dish?
I finished it.
Thank God.
I
It's
know.
like it's been a fucking year
No,
already.
I wrote it, but I've only written one draft of it, and it got on the blacklist, which is this
Yes.
thing out here, which is the best
Tell people.
unmade.
Tell people
So
who don't
there's a
know.
list out here called the blacklist, which is literally the opposite of what you would think it is. It's the voted on by executives or people. I don't know who votes on it.
I thought is it agents, lit agents?
Maybe it could be.
I think
don't
it's
know.
lit agents, yeah.
It's lit agents and like creative executives.
Studio creative readers.
Yeah, it's the people that read all these scripts and they pick their favorite ones they read from the year that haven't been made yet.
Right.
And so I was hired.
Haven't been made yet or have actually been passed on by the studios.
That could
and it's
be.
the blacklist, I think, was created as a way for these creative people to say, here's the scripts that should be made, but
Right,
the
that you're
studios are
missing.
too afraid.
Absolutely correct. That is 100% correct. And
The opposite of what you were thinking, Kenny, which was that it was an African-American writers only.
But every character in each script has to be black. Every character in the black. No. And so I got hired from Paramount. Hired me Rob Reiner, who's another, one of those guys that when I was sitting in his.
Sat in that chair.
Did he really?
Sure. I'm not going to have a Rob Reiner on.
Of course you are. I can't believe you're having me on. What are you, nuts?
Well, you're a young
I might
Rob
have more
Reiner.
Twitter followers than Rob Reiner, who probably doesn't have a Twitter account. But maybe that's why you have me on.
It's
But,
time for get ready. All right.
And so, but that was another one of those moments when I was in his office, and it's like every movie.
Why? Because he's producing Soap Dish.
Correct. Him and Alan Greisman,
Right.
who was the guy who really gave me all my notes and gave phenomenal notes, but has a deep Jewish, wonderful voice and no bullshit. And because these creative executives are like all these like fratty guys or like very very smart guys that whatever or women. There's a lot of really great creative executives that are women, and so this guy is
Don't
like
try to get laid on this show, man.
I can't get laid. Look at this. Someone's making me grow a beard. And so I went and Greisman had just like no bullshit. He's like if there's something that he wasn't sure about in the thing, he goes, well, do you think it's funny? I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, keep it. I was like, oh, you're the best. So Paramount and the producers, they gave me notes, and when they gave me notes, they were great, and they were very slight, and they let me write an alternative version. So the whole idea is it's a telenovela. It takes place in a telenovela.
Right.
So all the characters are like people you'd see like Salma Hayek or Penelope Cruz. And I wrote it. It's kind of
Tell people outside of Jersey what that is.
a telenovela.
Spanish.
It's like a Spanish soap opera, and they're huge. They get more. They constantly
Way more than the network.
And by the way, half the pitch when I'm pitching it for my version of this Soap Dish was that those TV shows get higher ratings than some of our regular primetime shows, which is true.
Yeah.
We had to do a bunch of research on it, and I had to watch. I maybe watched 15 in a row telenovelas, all I did, because you have to learn how they talk and stuff like that. So I wrote it one draft. I wrote it one draft, and I took their notes, did their notes, and so that draft, because in my head I'm like, oh, this is gonna be. I didn't think this was gonna be on the blacklist. I'm thinking get a really good draft into them, and then hopefully they'll hire me to write another draft.
Right.
That first draft is the one that people get now, because if they ask for it, that's what was on the blacklist, so people get that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but I wrote the whole thing in maybe 2.5 months. It's been done, so it's up to them if they want to make it or not, or if they want to do. But we'll see what happens. Writing movies is very slow and
Oh God.
you have to almost detach yourself from it. I've written 3 now, or I'm writing my 3rd one right now, and it's like once you hand it in, at the beginning I got hurt. I was like, oh, I spent so much time on this.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, all right, you paid me to do a job. I did the job. You know what I mean? Even if it's my idea, even this is what I believe in, it's like, you gave me money for this, so we're done. We've had our transaction scene.
It's mostly devastating.
Yeah, it's very rare that a movie gets made.
Yeah. I had
And you don't really get money writing movies
Oh.
unless you start getting shit made.
Yeah.
So.
We got to get one made before we can really,
Right.
you know, that's what the agent says. I had one that I wrote for Tim Allen that got I only mentioned because it has one of my favorite framed variety headline, Pollock Nabs Cheese. Because I wrote it for Disney, the mouse, the cheese.
That's amazing.
That was the connection.
That's
Pollock
amazing.
Nabs Cheese.
I love that.
Yeah. And that is
stretch for
still
writing.
sitting on the shelf at Disney. They've yet to make the film.
But wasn't there a time when you just had to take a step back? And
I had to stop crying.
Did you really get
at one
that?
point I had
Did
to
you
stop
ever get
crying.
so emotional that you cried or not?
Well, because they greenlit it in the pitch. Because I went in with Tim.
To film?
Yes.
Oh boy, I've never had that.
Oh,
That's
boy.
insane.
Well, because Tim Allen was Tim Allen at the
He
time.
still is Tim
and-
Allen.
But I mean, he was someone that Disney wanted to make a movie with immediately. So anyways.
What was the
yes.
log line on that pitch?
I don't know if I can say. Can I?
It's been. All right, don't
Yeah,
say
sitting on their shelf.
it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. I know what you mean. Don't say it.
Well, no. Well, yeah.
Can I guess what it is?
Sure.
It's about all these guys that jerk each other off, right? But they want to see which one has the creamiest sauce, right?
Wow. Because I went to Disney with it.
Yeah.
That's why you went
That's
there.
when I figured nab the cheese. And the title is You Know What to Do with It.
That may be the dirtiest joke I've ever had on this show.
A genie with no powers. He has to just spend time with you to figure out how to grant your wish.
I'll greenlight that right now.
Right?
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, you should say that.
It's-
Get it made by someone else.
It's Schwarzenegger. He wakes up on the beach and Schwarzenegger's sitting next to him in a diaper, or whoever, The Rock, is sitting next to him in a diaper, and he's the genie. But
by
he's
the end
got
of the
no magical
film,
powers.
does he have the ability to get his powers
Well,
back?
we don't know. It's kind of that Miracle on 54th with a cane in the corner, but it's the.
Thought it
That's a
was
good pitch, by the way.
34th.
That's a
or
simple.
Did it move
34th.
uptown?
Miracle on 54th.
No, it's like a horror house. It's like a horror house.
And I've completed my obligation to completely fuck up a reference.
Merry Christmas to all of you.
Wait, I'm on the wrong street.
Throwing condoms.
I gotta get in Midtown. I'm too far uptown
Santa's
on 54th.
riding on like 3 women, just little girls.
But yeah, high concept, original idea.
Very
Tim
simple. I think
said
those are the
yes.
best pitches.
Disney said yes. Off I went. Wrote the fucking thing. Got,
How long ago did you
got
sell it?
part of the check. Oh fuck, 10 years, 8 years.
And
It's forever.
And back
ago.
then, you could sell. I know that now it's very hard to sell shit. Back
Yeah.
then, like
Well, when you walk in with a piece of
they would
talent
make
that they
movies
want
like that. Exactly.
When I would recommend that to every writer. Walk in with the star of the film when you pitch it.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn that right now.
And which is probably true now more than ever.
Yeah.
Attaching elements, I think they
They
call it.
will. I'm still in this part of my career where they're like, yeah. So who do you see for we love this script? Who do you see for the thing? I was like, I kind of wrote it in my own voice and stuff like that. They go, yeah. But who would be in it if we made it in a movie? Who would be in it? I was like, all right.
Also, I love that they're asking the writer what the writer thinks because they can't wait to remove you from the process.
The writers get shit on a little bit. I will say some studios really care about. Paramount was very.
Yes.
They were really cool with me. And other studios may not be as into it, but there's some that really are into it.
No, they're into it until it gets to a certain point,
Right.
and then you need to go sit in
Writing
the
is
corner.
tough, man. Writing is lonely, and writing is tough.
Well, let me ask you about that, and then Sammy, gear up because we're seconds away from who tweeted.
Man, I can't
I'm always fascinated because every writer's journey is or process is a little different. You write alone, not with a partner.
Yes, sir.
For the most part.
Always.
And do you start with a skeleton, with an outline? Do you know where it's going? Do you know what the ending is? What do you do?
So I'll give you an example. What I
Please.
do, well, I also have learned from making mistakes and stuff like that. But what I do now, which helps, is I will ask myself. I have a Word document of ideas for films.
Sure.
Something like that. And then sometimes I'll ask myself, just make it the most generic thing, in this movie, this happens. You know what I mean? Or something like that. And I just write down as many as I can. I'll think of them anywhere I can. And then I'll pick those, I'll go through those, and I'll see which one of these could be a movie. Which one of these could actually be a movie. And then I'll write a paragraph on it. And when I'm going to sell a movie, when I get someone interested in a little bit, let's say I give them, I'm thinking about these 3 things, they go that. I write, because I went through a time where I wrote a whole script and nobody bought it. And I was like, I can't spend 2 months of my life and then not get paid for it just because, especially at the beginning when you don't really have money, it's like, so I write the most in-depth outline you'll ever see. And I once pitched, when I pitched a soap dish, I was in the room for an hour and 30 minutes. And I pitched.
And they tell you to get the fuck in and out in 15.
The executive's like, he doesn't have to do the rest. And they just saw that I was so into it. I'm excited to be doing this. So it's like, the guy's like, let him fucking finish. You know what I mean? So I'll write a 16-page single-spaced outline with dialogue in it, with every aspect of the film in it. So I just sold a movie to Universal that I'm writing right now. So what I did is I did every single
the Brian
page.
Grazer one?
Yeah, so this is a new one. It'll be announced soon. We're closing the contract now. So it's a new one that I have to start writing. So it's like, so I had my outline, then I give it to Imagine, right, who is interested in it, and they gave me notes on it. We go back and forth till we think we're in a place to do Universal. But I make sure that I cover every part of my ass.
Right.
But like when you have Tim Allen, you can pitch a sentence and you could sell a movie. When I'm pitching it just as myself to write and nothing else attached, I need to show them that I know every part of this movie in my head.
Right.
Like, I get it. And so I'll do that. Dialogue. I know where my act breaks are. I know where all my moments are. And I also, at the end, just because from the way that I work, I have a different section of just bits and jokes that may not be in here. And so I write a full outline. This is the worst part. Then when you pitch it, you have to take out half the fucking jokes, because when you verbally pitch it, like Universal won't read a 15-page document because they don't have time for that. So Imagine knows every part of it. They're like, we want to make this movie. Grazer was on board, and he's like, let's go to Universal. Then we go to Universal, and I strip down all the jokes which I've worked so hard on, and make a pitch. So instead of a 16-page document, it's a 5-page document with just bullet points.
Which is still too long.
Right. Again, and it's just this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, and then I'll be like, can I squeeze in a joke right here? And then I'll like say a joke. You know what I mean? Like I'll do like a bit that I think is really funny. And then you can tell in the room if they dig it or not, and then they take weeks or whatever they want, however long they want, and they say yes or no. Well, fortunately, they said yes. And then if they say yes, I go back to my outline, which is 16 pages.
You're ready.
And correct. And then I can write my movie like this. And then you also realize, you know, while you're doing this, you're doing these like in-depth scenes that have thing, and then also you realize that a paragraph goes, and then crazy things happen. You're like, oh fuck. So like for 5, you're like have to really brainstorm again and like, but I beat it out so much because at the beginning I wasn't getting stuff done. I was like, I'm gonna be so prepared every time that it won't be my fault that it doesn't get picked up. I covered all my bases. I told them exactly the idea. I'm gonna get a production company on board that believes in me, because these guys are gonna fight for me. And then it's easy to say no to me. It's harder to say no to me, Kim Roth, and Brian Grazer, that I respect. You know, they made unbelievable films for so long, and if they believe in it, then it gives me even more confidence to go in there and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. So I'm writing a movie for Universal, and I'm out with one more pitch and stuff like that. But I'm starting to get to the point now where I want to go in with a star and be like, I want to write a movie for you, and let me be like the third lead.
Well, I think there's no correct way to do this. That's why I wanted to know what your particular process was, and it's
your process and my process for you selling with Tim Allen, with that lot. I'm sure you didn't even. How many pages do you have?
We didn't have any pages.
See, and you made probably 100 times more than I made.
No,
but I mean, it's totally different. But yours
it's not true to say.
But yours would have gotten made 100 times quicker than mine would have gotten made.
But it's not true that I didn't have any pages. But because I pitched him on the set of a thing we're doing together, this high concept idea, and he went, "Holy fuck, that's great!"
Right.
Then I had to go to his office and spend a lot of time with him.
That's exactly
before we went into the.
I'm doing that with an actor right now. Yeah. But I love that process.
Can I guess the actor?
The Rock.
No, don't. Just in case you're right, don't guess it.
How did
Sammy?
you know I was going to guess The Rock?
Sammy, Josh,
Roll the thing.
anyone listening? It's time for Who Tweeted.
Delay it no longer.
Look at that.
That two-shot.
Look at that. It's an animated Sammy.
Celebrities have so much to say.
More water, Kev?
Is the game we're gonna play.
Sammy? Yeah. I need you to bust the table, too.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna get right
Oh,
on
that'd be
this.
so funny if he came out in like a little mustache and waiter outfit.
There you go.
Hey, is it time to play a tweeter?
It's gonna play Who Tweeted the Game.
Can you do this for the whole thing?
It's sweeping the nation. I think maybe I can. It's not racist at all to
You're
any of our
offending the
Italian
Italians.
friends.
She doesn't care. She's been
I'm
asleep the whole time. Look at her. This two-shot is very handsome. Look at this, too.
And now it's a 3. And now it's the best
Profiles of
3-shot.
Jews.
Yeah, it's just our noses barely.
God.
It's like almost touching. We can't move forward.
It's Toucan Sam and his friend.
That is. It's like one of those posters you'd see in Germany during the Holocaust of avoid the Jew.
Why did you do
Wow.
this?
What?
Why did you take it there?
You're getting
do I
on
gotta be
me?
there?
You're getting on me for taking it there? What was that cum joke you made? Jesus.
Everything's going really
That
well.
was.
We got
Okay.
another 3
horrendous.
hours, right?
No, we're just about done, mister.
No,
Wow.
another tight thing.
Yeah. I'm just going to tighten.
Cut to Kevin real quick. Cut to Kevin real quick. All right.
Sammy, explain the game.
Okay, who tweeted? I'm going to read a series of 8 tweets, one at a time.
How many?
8
Series of 8, one at a time, and they were all authored by either Tyra, Paris, or Bieber.
Those names again.
Tyra Banks, Paris
Hilton,
Hilton, Justin Bieber. Got it.
Close enough. So I will start reading one. When you feel you know who wrote it, you buzz in by saying your name. That's Ben. I'll point to you, You will have 3 seconds to say Tyra, Paris, Bieber. You ring and you get it right, you get 5 points. You ring and you get it wrong, you lose 3.
And does the winner get one of these mugs?
Yes.
No, the winner
No.
gets the ability to buy one of those mugs with this.
It's true. You can't buy one online. That's
dollars.
true. No, you can't. We took it off.
Took it off as I kept breaking.
Yeah, the travel.
I think the winner should go on a date with me.
Oh my God, she can't lose.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Tell her how terrible that
That
is.
is terrible, by the way.
Jamie's got a
What?
thing for our guests.
Come on, that was funny. That was cute.
It was
Are we
funny.
on a date?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry? Things are going really well. I'm well aware. We talked outside. I know what's going on.
All right. Are you ready to play?
Do you know how much fun we would have on a date? Excuse me. Do you know how much fun we would have?
How much fun?
This is happening.
Are you ready to play Who Tweeted to win a date with Jamie?
I'm obviously kidding about that.
It's important that she think you're not. All right.
Here we go.
Think about me when you're with him.
Too late. It wouldn't be the first time.
Number 1. Loving life to the fullest.
Ben. Tyra.
Correct.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Incorrect.
Starting out in a hole. That's how the date would start as well.
-3 points?
Paris. I just said you
get
buzz
one
in, you
wrong.
get it right, you win 5, you buzz in, you get it wrong, you lose 3. Now you're playing against Kevin.
I just saw when you
So
leaned
can
forward,
win.
that's a piece. I thought that was real.
My hair? Yeah, this is all fake. Even my facial hair is
It's a
fake.
crazy piece.
Thanks.
How
Yeah.
thick does the beard get?
I'm doing a movie in May where I have to grow a beard, and this is the longest it's ever been. I was saying that
Yeah.
me doing this is like when a wizard does this. That's how long it feels. Like this feels like the longest. I've never had facial hair this much before. This one, it makes me feel like like when a wizard's like
Sure.
yeah.
We all went
Well,
there.
you got. I learned
Seven
from
Faces
my
of
girlfriend,
Dr.
you have
Lao
to-
is where
You
I
got to
went.
keep the neckline clean because that's the difference between I'm growing a beard because I'm cool and I'm unemployed.
Shit.
Or
That
the
is the
dick,
difference.
or the dickhead.
Does it look terrible?
No, it's fine.
Hipster.
Yeah.
You need to shave it up a little for the dick. Although maybe the character is a dickhead hipster.
I don't know, man.
Oh, really? Haven't
We'll
decided?
talk about
Well, the director's like, grow a beard. And I go, I've never done that before. He goes, grow a beard. I go, you got it.
it. All right, tweet
You
number
ride
2.
horseback, got a saddle in the trunk.
So I'm going to be patient. I'm learning from you. All right.
Asked for silverware 3 times in restaurant. Never came. What did I do?
Kevin Tyra.
That is correct. But I just want to finish this tweet.
Please do.
Asked for silverware 3 times in restaurant, never came. What did I do? Ate with my hands. Rice, shrimp, fish, sauce,
now it's obvious.
and fiercely licked my
Characters.
fingers
That's
after.
too many characters for a tweet.
I'll show it to you afterward. I'm reading the abbreviation, or
Yeah.
I'm filling in the word for what would be the
I'm going to make this go closer to who you want.
Sammy, I
tweet
love you.
number 3.
Yeah.
Wow! Raleigh Radio 1 security ain't no joke.
Ben, Tyra.
That is correct!
Wow! See, he tried to
Nicely
trick you doing 2
done.
tires in a row.
Not me.
Wow!
You're not going to trick this kid.
That was impressive,
Nice.
sir.
Tweet number 4, getting interesting.
How many tweets do we have? 8. Got to keep going.
Yep. Working hard. Feeling the love. Hashtag.
Tweet Ben, Justin.
Sorry, I think his name is Bieber, but that is correct.
Oh my God! I love how he said it and then looked away as
So
if he dropped
confident.
something.
Easy.
So confident.
It's like hitting a jump
So
shot and just walking off.
So confident. Too confident. This is a long game, buddy. Tweet number
We're
5.
halfway done. We're more than halfway done.
Tweet number 5.
Podcast getting a plane in 20 minutes.
At the airport, about to take off to Sydney. Haven't been to Australia in a
Kevin
long...
Bieber.
No.
Incorrect.
It was.
You knew it was Paris.
It is.
It's
I
okay,
think
you
it
can
is
say.
Paris.
It was Paris, that's correct.
I thought it was Paris too, but it seemed too obvious.
Yeah.
All right.
Tweet number 6.
Wait, what do we got score-wise?
7-2.
7-5? Ooh,
7-2.
shit.
Tweet number 6. Wow! What an amazing week at Ultra. Had the best time. Listened to the most epic music. Hung out with my favorite people.
Ben, Tyra.
I was going to say Paris.
I'm sorry, no. Paris would have been correct.
How you like it?
How do you
Tighter.
like me now?
2-4.
Anyone's game.
4.
2-4. Can we get a tied on Kevin real quick? Can we get a quick tied on Kevin? Nope. Other guy?
The other Kevin.
other Jew.
You said Kevin, they just put up a Jew.
That's amazing, by the way.
Is this the most Judaism we've ever had at the table?
Easy. Easy. This show is all over the
It
world.
was just Passover.
Where
That's
we're-
true, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cur-
One of us is sitting on the Afikoman, by the way.
Oh, I can't believe you held that joke over so long. That's good. I like that. All right, I got to stop looking at myself and think.
Tweet.
Timing.
Tweet number 7.
7. All right, this is huge, numbers-wise.
What was that noise I just made? Era challenge. Tweet.
Ben, Tyra.
I don't even know what that means. E-Rot Challenge?
It's got to be Tyra.
That is correct.
Oh my!
That is correct.
Now I just sit around and play pretty.
Yeah. The last question is worth 10 points, so it's still
Is that
anyone's-
true? Hey, why are we inventing rules?
The last question is worth 10 points. However, I must point this out. If you ring in and get it wrong, you only lose 3.
Still win.
Keeping in mind the score is 9 to 2
I have to get it correct.
currently.
Yeah, but I can just cheat and just the second start talking like that. But I'm not.
Will
gonna
you?
do it. No.
That's the question.
No.
the question.
Will you?
I'm not competitive enough to do that.
No.
I do want a mug though. All right,
Nothing like your fans blowing you up, saying Madonna.
Ben, Justin, have a good day. I'll see you guys later.
He's right.
Just take it out.
He's a good person. I think he gets the mug, too. I think after all that, he gets the mug.
That is correct, sir.
think,
Winning with
guys,
a
come on.
glorious.
And let me guess, Jamie, he has to come to the house while I'm out of town to pick up the mug.
Oh, absolutely.
happy.
Yes.
I would make you so
I
happy.
know you would.
What?
I would.
I love this. My bags have
I
been
would
packed.
just take care of you. Do you know
I
what I
know.
mean?
My bags have
Why
been packed.
is this happening?
Kim, do you want to hang out with us?
Here you go, buddy.
Thank you very
You know
much.
what you can do with that? You can buy yourself another tent, a big one this time. That's how you play. Who
Sammy
tweeted?
LaVine, everybody.
That's a great game.
Isn't it fun?
Celebrities have so much to say.
Your future
Is the game that we
What's
just
happening?
play.
date. His future weird date.
Yeah, future weird. Hey.
Can you watch the video on Hulu? So I can post this on my website as video from Hulu,
Yeah,
and the audio is on iTunes.
yeah.
Oh, okay, we're not done. Let's keep going.
No, you have.
I was just excited. That was really fun.
Right? And it is a game, by the way, you can play with your friends.
Don't do that.
I'm
Make it
just
copyright
saying.
that. Copyright that.
Oh, it's copyright.
You should copyright
It's
that. Make it into a board game.
copyright,
But,
but not a board game.
well, people, I mean,
No.
so many shows have ripped that off.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's easy to do a version of it without calling it Who Tweeted
Yeah.
and not
You're right.
just 3 names.
Where does this come from? Whose pocket does this come from?
That's out of the show's budget.
Okay, so it's not your. If it was your money, I'd truly give it back. I'm not doing a bit. If it was like Sam your money, I would give it back right now. But it's the show's. Daddy's gonna buy $20 worth of cocaine. I've never done drugs before in my entire life.
I don't believe that.
Wait a second, does that include Ritalin? Because that had to have been in the diet at
Never
some
done
point.
Ritalin. No. I've Never
Adderall.
done anything. Adderall. Never done Adderall.
How did the parents slow you down when you were a kid?
Punch me in my face.
They did not.
They didn't.
No.
No.
But what about with the in class?
What does that mean?
I'm guessing there was a little bit of over here, I'm doing something funny.
Never.
never?
I was pretty good.
Really?
I was class clown. I won class clown, but I also was the one who chose the class clown.
What does that mean?
No. What is this?
He's pointing at Jamie. She was also the class clown.
As was I.
As was Kevin.
As was
Kevin
I.
was as
It's the
well.
trifecta.
Oh, were
Sammy?
you?
Yeah.
Kenny?
It's a
Kenny?
superfecta.
Fuck!
Did you do impressions
Get out.
when you were a kid?
Yes.
What's the first impression you did?
Al
This is-
Jolson.
I don't know what that is. I'm so sorry.
What? Are you fucking kidding me?
You do it, and then maybe I know after you do it?
No.
Come on, do it.
I did the high school football coach. That got me almost killed.
Why?
Because he didn't like it.
Oh, no. What did you make him say?
Well, I was just doing his head bob as he walked through the quad, and for my fellow students, and then while I was doing it, someone came up from behind me, got me in a headlock, and before I passed out, it was him whispering in my ear, "I don't think it's funny."
That's illegal.
Yep.
Straight up. That's like, you don't get more illegal than that.
Yeah.
You're a kid. How old were you?
16?
That's insane.
Yeah. Well, this was
Francisco?
back in the 40s when you could do something like that.
It wasn't the 40s.
We just invented fire. I want to hear about Coffee Town with Glenn Howerton, who also sat in that seat.
By the way, when I was watching this, I saw, you can click, if you guys go to the website, you can go and you can see previous guests, and I get to choose which one I wanted, and I clicked on Glenn.
Right.
So I wanted to see what he did. He was lit poorly.
I'll say.
But I watched a couple minutes of that.
Tell me about Coffee Town with him, Steve Little, and Josh Groban.
The movie is me, or rather, it's Glenn Howard and me. Steve Little from Eastbound and Down. Glenn is from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Josh Groban, who's a singer and also was in.
Did you just say Josh Groban, who's a singer?
Yeah, he is a singer.
Okay.
And then Annie Palicki.
I'm sorry, who's Josh Groban?
He's a singer.
I gotcha.
And then Adrian Palicki, who is from Friday Night Lights.
Sure.
So I think it's so interesting that it's like a bunch of people. Like I'm on Parks and House of Lies, so it's like all these people that are on these TV shows all together and like in a movie. For some reason, I thought that was exciting to me. I was excited to do it because it was like all these different worlds of like groups of people who watch this show. Like Friday Nights watches this, and then all that stuff.
That's true. It's all
I thought it was a cool
TV
idea.
monoliths. As
People
it
haven't
were.
really made a huge impression in film yet, I would say.
Well, yeah, but isn't how much fun is that?
It was great, and Glenn is. Everybody was so kind. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. You know when you do a comedy and you're like, I hope that's good. Now I can't do anything else. Now you guys edit and we'll see what happens.
How about the Jean-Ralphio ends up being interviewed by GQ? That I found fascinating.
That was pretty fun.
That I mean, as byproducts go of what you do, that seemed pretty fucking cool.
That was great. It was GQ emailed me and were like, would you do an interview as Jean-Ralphio? And I go, oh, just so you know, I don't write the word. Like I improvise, but I don't write the words. So let me ask the guy who created the show.
I think everyone thought you created the character.
How
you inhabited it so.
I appreciate
uniquely.
The character was one paragraph.
You were Offerman's assistant initially.
It was like I came in to be an assistant. And it was literally one scene.
Right.
And the whole story is I went into Mike Schur, who's the showrunner. I had a meeting with him. He saw these. I used to interview professional athletes as a joke, but like I'd be very like. I just made it into bits and stuff. I called it Sunday Conversations with Ben Schwartz. I did it for ESPN. And so he's a big sports guy. He saw those, really liked them, and he started to hear about how I was kind of starting to get a little bit more status here. And he's like, "Would love to meet him." And they were looking for a love interest for Amy, which ended up being Louis C.K.
Right.
And I was far too young to be it. And he's like, "You're too young," but he goes, "We really like you. We're going to find a way to get you in this world. I don't know how yet." A couple months later, he's like, "There's a role." It was my first time I got offered a role, by the way. And so he's like, there's a role, it's called Jean-Ralphio. Do you want to, he goes, would you do it? It's just, like, we think you'd be great for it. And I was like,
just a scene.
It was one scene.
Right.
And so he came down for the rehearsal of the scene. And I went there and I did it. I was a little bit nervous, but I did it once. And I did it just like, they hadn't seen me do it at all yet. And I did it as like, I was like arrogant, but like I think I'm nailing it, but I'm like nice. You know what I mean? I always try to make him feel like he's a happy guy. He doesn't know he's being a douchebag.
Right.
He thinks he's crushing it every time.
Yeah.
And so he does. And so I did it, and Mike, after one take, I go, "Do you have any notes?" He goes, No. You'll be coming back. And I was like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, that was great." He goes, "This is great." He goes, "He wanted to get me involved with the show somehow," and he goes, "This is perfect. So this is great," and that was great. And then he went upstairs, and I was like, "Oh." And then to hear that just gave me more confidence to fuck around. And then those guys, the actors, are so good and so funny that if you play with them.
How fun is it, by the way, to make Nick laugh? Because I notice when he's sat here, when he gets giggling.
And his little mustache. I try to make him break. There's some bloopers. I did the finale this year, but they shot two different endings, so I'm not quite sure if I'm in it or not. But there's a bunch where they let me now, after they do everybody, they do something called Fun Run, where after you do as scripted or after you do a little bit whatever, they go do whatever you want and just see what happens. So like they give me a couple of those, and it's the most. It's just it's playtime. Yeah. It's my favorite thing to do.
An improviser of 10 years.
Yeah, and like Amy, is the number one on the call sheet, and she's obviously one of the greatest improvisers of all time. Right. So I would fuck with Nick so hard. Like there's a scene where I just go up to him. I just like start. I just did any, just fuck with him because I want to make him laugh. And then there's sometimes where you see him like shaking because he's trying so hard, and just like his lips are so tight. And then afterwards they go. He is. I think he should be nominated for an Emmy every single year, and it boggles my mind that he doesn't get a nomination.
We love him to death.
I think he's so talented and so good at what he does. That's a very hard character, and I think he's unbelievable at it.
I second
now,
that.
Are you going to be able to toggle, as it were, these two different shows?
I am.
Because the Lies, the House of Lies is...
In my contract, when I did Showtime, I asked them to carve out space for Parks if I can do a certain amount of episodes, and they agreed to it, because Showtime has been amazing.
Right.
So I did 4 this year.
And that got picked up for a second season.
House of Lies is going to do the second season. We start at the end. We start near the end of the year, and then Parks and Rec... They just wrapped a little bit ago, but man, if that gets picked up again, it would be I think those two. I'm very pleased, and I do a cartoon show where I'm the voice of some cartoon.
Right.
So I'm like doing a couple shows at the same time, but I'm very.
And the movie Turbo.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds.
I mean.
See, Ryan Reynolds is one of those guys where it's just not fair. You're not supposed to be that good looking and that
very
funny. Yeah.
When you do movies like that, I will never meet any of those people.
Right.
I go in and do my session. And by the way, all those people are people that I look up to. Like it's Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, it's Snoop Dogg. You don't think I want to fucking meet Snoop Dogg?
Well,
it's like all these people who are like, I would love to. But you go in the booth, you do your thing, and you don't see anybody else.
All right.
See them at the premiere.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or maybe my role is not huge. If it was bigger, maybe there's a big table read they do.
Then you
But
tell
I haven't
them
even seen
how much you love working with them.
Oh yeah.
When you see them.
By the way, I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds when he was in Two Guys in a Pizza Shop. Remember
Two
that?
guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
Yeah.
And then it became Two Guys and a Girl, and the pizza place got its own spin-off show on the UPN.
I could see that being really good.
Yeah.
Sandwich in between girlfriends and the PJs. Mm-hmm. That's UPN humor. No, your audience. I'm so sorry. I used to watch UPN.
That's how
quite a
long
bit.
ago I made that joke the first time.
Yeah.
By the way, UPN was
Were
still a
you
thing.
warned about your Larry King? Were you told about the Larry King game?
I don't know what the Larry King game is. Don't tell me anything about it. I can't wait.
Okay.
Let's do it.
It'd
Put
be
my
sh-
belt back on. Do I need to take it off?
No.
Okay.
It'd be shocking if an improviser couldn't do this because it's improvised.
We'll
Just
see what
saying.
happens.
Normally, I read one at the top of the show from a viewer or listener who they send them in, and we send them a mug, actually.
I'll kill you if it's this mug.
Travel mug.
Thank you.
Right, the same one you're getting in wrapped gift bag. 3 rules of the Larry King game, also created by my future ex-fiance. That is, if you'll have her.
Let's start with a date.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a great cook.
By the way,
By the way, calm down.
thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Pitching herself.
Calm down. But I did hear what you said. I'm
It's
feeling
registered.
Very feisty today.
Yeah, calm down as in not in front of him.
Very interested in women today.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Just the weekend was very, yeah.
Should we?
going.
Do we want to?
No, I don't want to talk about personal things.
Please don't be silly.
No. But you know.
But nice that you're back on women. That's good.
I don't know. No, I've never been.
Wait.
I've never been off.
Why would we?
But you know how
You don't have
sometimes-
to.
Do you know how sometimes?
See,
it's
now
like,
you're-
Sometimes you're like, oh, you know, sometimes women are the worst, and then sometimes they're great. Yes. So who knows?
Right.
Where you from? Yeah.
What is that?
Why is this?
What was that?
What is this? What's happening?
Yeah?
We're connecting.
Is that what it is?
Is this what you do on dates? You just sit there, where are you from? Cleveland? Yeah. And then you just
Do you
sit
know what
there
I do?
for 48 minutes? Just
Do you
making
know what I do
face?
for real on dates? I just give Kevin's web address and go, watch this.
Wow.
I just go, watch this episode. Hulu.com, I go, and if you really want to go on another date with me, click on the Amazon button.
If you really care.
If you really care.
Here are the 3 rules for Larry
This
King.
will get me a date, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
show
yeah.
will get me a date?
Please, if this doesn't close it.
I could use like a really nice girl.
Sure. Oh. 3 rules for the Larry King game. I want a bad Larry King. I don't want a good one. When you impersonate Larry King for the bit.
Oh,
I don't want a good one.
Okay.
I just want a bad one. No pressure. As in. Then we're looking
I've never
for...
seen Larry King shows. That
Perfect.
Kill me?
Yeah. I'm looking for that moment when Larry would do a bumper. He'd share a little bit about himself, a too much information moment from Larry before he went to the phone. Okay? So he shares something about himself, then goes to the phone.
What is the phone? The phone is a caller?
Well, he always goes, and then the name of the city should be funny sounding.
I've never seen Larry King. I have no idea what you're
So
talking about.
you want to see the prototype?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, the listeners and viewers and Jamie tune out. Here's the prototype.
Please.
Thanksgiving, I like to teabag the gravy boats before the guest arrives. Schenectady, hello. All right, so that's the
Oh,
prototype.
okay, Schenectady Hello is saying he's talking
A
to the
little
guy who's calling
bumper.
him.
It's a little bumper about himself, and then he goes to the phone.
That's great.
Yeah, that's your camera when you're ready.
Yeah.
Bad Larry King. He shares something. It's not about you. You're doing Larry.
This is me doing an impression of Larry
He
King.
started as a pterodactyl, so you can go throughout time with Larry when he shares something about himself. And then you go to the phone. If the name of the city is funny sounding, it's helpful.
Schenectady is where I went to school, by the way. By the way, can you be the caller, and can we go through the call?
Sure.
Is that fine?
Hasn't been done.
I mean, we can do whatever the fuck
Yes.
we want, right?
Yeah.
Who cares? This will be the bonus features.
Here we
Those
go.
rules he gave?
Here we go.
So just the first crazy thing I can think of? Does he say welcome back at the top, or does he say
Whatever you
at the
like.
top? Okay.
Yeah, sure, you can.
That was about the time that I realized that I could. I'm doing my Larry King, just your Larry King. That was, I don't know what he sounds like. And I got suspenders on. That was about the time that I realized that my chin hair was long enough to tie it to my pubes. And here we go to Luca Lake. You got Larry.
Larry, where's Bob Hope's house?
And thank you to Luca Lake. I think that's
Nicely
funny.
done. Nicely done, sir.
weird? That's the
For
first
someone
thing you
who's
do?
never actually seen Larry King's show.
That sounds
Does he
like
hang up a
Stallone a little bit.
I did Kevin's impression. He's like a master impressionist. So it's like a copy of a copy, which
Yeah,
is terrible.
that was a
You ever
fact.
seen Multiplicity? It's just like Multiplicity.
It's just like
Which
that.
one was he? Which multiplicity?
The pizza in my wallet. It was the pizza in my
He was
wallet.
number 4.
Number 4?
Correct. The
Steve.
pizza in my wallet one. Yeah. My sister's
pizza.
favorite line. If my sister's watching, my sister's favorite line from any film is "I put the pizza in my wallet." Marnie Beth Schwartz, or ruling now, if you're listening. That's her favorite line.
Nice.
I put the pizza in my wallet. It makes her laugh. It makes her laugh harder. I sent her an outline of something that I'm pitching, and she goes, "This is so good. Can I give you one suggestion? What's the pizza in my wallet moment?" Well, I mean, for someone who doesn't know any of the dialogue of what the city is, made me laugh out loud.
Wow. What if an executive said that to you?
Oh God, I would love that.
Right?
By the way, I would be like, I'll make any movie. I'll write any movie for you.
Yeah.
You totally get what my sister loves.
All right.
This was so fun.
I can't thank you enough. Can you believe an hour and a half went by like that?
That's crazy.
That was an hour and a half.
I feel like we really get it hot by the end.
Right?
We're really hitting it.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, buddy.
You'll have to come back.
I'll literally come back anytime. I really enjoyed
We're
this.
going to watch what happens over the next year.
Okay.
The predictions are a waste of time, but it's going to be even more explosive. You're completely and utterly on fire, and
Thank you.
yeah, I couldn't be more thrilled. And it's also nice, after going through the dossier, that you're even nicer and wonderful
I appreciate
in
it.
real life.
Thank you, and you as well.
I said 4 words. Here's the thing, and then I'll drive you home. That's what Paul Roger used to say on stage, and it always made me laugh. Here's the thing, and then I'll drive you home. All right. Sit there uncomfortably while I wrap things up.
Please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. By the way, I really do appreciate it. Very kind of
The
you.
20 did come from
And
my
thank you
pocket.
both of you guys so much for having me. If it did, it's yours. I'm not even doing a bit. If you did, it's yours.
Sit there
Yes, sir.
uncomfortably.
Yes.
Please, if you're comfortable, it's not going to work. Thanks enormously to our guest, Ben Schwartz. And I think you saw, if not heard, just enough from Jamie to realize that she may or may not be here when we come back next week with, I believe, Jim Jeffries, although we're going to confirm midweek. If that happens, I'm unbelievably excited. He's an Australian stand-up that a lot of you know, and those who don't are going to be blown away. Crazy, amazing. Met him on the Opie and Anthony show in New York, and holy fuck he's done HBO specials. He's big. He's huge. He's huge. And then Jason Biggs, the end of the month.
Yeah.
We got some good ones coming up. Ken Marino.
Stephen Collins.
I think I was yelled at by John Cusack and
Mina Suvari.
Mina Suvari, who are threatening to come on the show as well. So check the local listings. Thank everybody here. Dr. Chen with that amazing opening. We're going to bring that back. Sam, Jamie, it's been fun. Josh, Justin, makeup guy who filled in today, David. Everyone knows David's name but me. We have to put him in the credits now. How about that? Thank you, each and every one of you. Please go to the site, and if you can, if you're on your way to Amazon, click through if you want to be supportive of the show. And thanks also to Audible.com for helping out. Elaine Ewing, our social media genius. And of course, you just mouthed something because I forgot someone, J-Mac. Oh, why? I'm not done. I look over there, and Jamie's going.
I'm getting yelled at via IM that he's not mentioning me. Cigarette.
Yeah, I don't believe that. No, well, first of all, I mentioned J-Mac already in their show. He's the research guy that just completely makes me look good.
He deserves that.
Yeah, J-Mac gets the 20. It's been decided. Did he just say shut the fuck up and stop telling? All right.
J-Mac, you son of a bitch!
That's the show for this week. Thank you, each and every one of you. We'll see you next time. And as always, get out of my face.